All right. I think we are on. We're recording. This is the first live webinar that we're doing today. I'm Joel Horowitz. I'm the founder and CEO of Center Media, and I'm excited to talk to you about LLMs and how to optimize for their discoverability or visibility, however you want to call it. But yeah, let me just check to make sure we have all of the logistics figured out. So just bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to check here, see if that we're started. I think that's good enough. Let me see. Okay. I think, in fact, we are live. Yep, we are definitely live. That's awesome. Checking to see who's here. Just give me 1 second. Okay. One more thing, and then then we can kind of keep going. Hopefully this is working. I have really no clue. So looks like we shall see. I'll just keep an eye on things as we go along. I can tell I'm recording, so worst case scenario, I will share this video and recording out with you all after the session. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull this into a different screen here. There we go. Cool. So we're sharing this tab. Yep. Cool. So yeah, so this, I'm not really, well, let me put it to you this way. So I've been working in growth marketing for almost 20 years with various startups and scale-ups and enterprise companies like IBM. And it's been a while since I've seen this type of hyper growth and rapid shift in the market. And so basically, as I'm sure many of you already know, we got a message in the chat. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Nikhil. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. Yeah, just feel free to to chat with me or each other as we go along. I'm just gonna kind of go along with this whole deal. So yeah, we're all kind of learning as this goes. And one of the things I started experimenting with, I want to say it was like in February, was building an OpenClaw. Is that when OpenClaw was dropped? I don't know. I'd have to go look at it. But like everyone else, I was like, all right, well, I should probably build my own OpenClaw. And so I've been testing it in the background. It's non-trivial actually to build a really a good autonomous agent, if you will. But it's definitely interesting. But as I started building that, I wanted to see if I called it Sam because my middle name is Samuel. So don't go and try to hack me now that you know my middle name. But it's Sam is my middle name, Samuel. So I called it Sam. Maybe that's a little egotistical, but whatever. And so I basically built Sam last month. And as one of the things I asked Sam to do was to go basically see if it can help me optimize for LLM growth. And so what it did was it basically, and I'll show you this in a moment, exactly what it did, but it did some things. And I actually ended up posting what it did on LinkedIn, which actually got a lot of interest. And so if you haven't seen that LinkedIn post, it's on my profile. Joel S. Horowitz is my LinkedIn profile. You can go check that out, and it has more details there. We also wrote a blog about it. But the bottom line is that if you're not really visible to AI agents, then you're really missing out. I mean, I'm not going to like shame you for not doing it, but I will tell you that you're missing out on some great traffic. And so one of the partners of Center Media, they're called Gumshoe AI. So if you go to gumshoe.ai, you can basically go there. And 1 second, I think we might have an issue. Bear with me. I don't know what the issue is. It just so that's interesting. It just seems like if you're not visible there, just like with search, right? Google search, it's now all about agents finding you, and so unlike humans, like agents read the internet differently, right? And so, as I'm sure you probably figured out, I think a lot of the the standard format, I think, for agents now, and maybe people will correct me if I'm wrong, is basically Markdown, right? And so the thing that basically Sam built, I say we, but really it was Sam, was this what's called an LLM cache. And actually, another gentleman mentioned this to me. The CEO of a large tech company also mentioned that they were doing this as well. He also mentioned that every one of his executives or management team now are basically like coders. He's like, I don't have anyone who doesn't know how to use AI agents or coding agents, and so on. Yuki, what are you saying? Do you see a toggle to start session? Oh, hey, Nikhil, do you see, are we started? I mean, it looks like I'm started. It says I'm live. I can see that I'm live across multiple systems. There's nothing, Yuki, that would say I need to do anything else. So I'm not really sure. Nikhil, will you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen by chance? Just want to make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. Yep, he says it's live. It's working. Okay. So I don't know, Yuki. It seems like it's working. So I'm not really sure what your issue is. Okay. So what it did was it created this LLM cache. And so let me see if I can share what that looks like here. So I'm going to go, maybe I can like share my whole screen. So bear with me. I'm going to see if I can do that 1 second. Okay, stop. And then we're going to share, whoopsies. We're going to share my screen. Let's just do the entire screen. Yeah, but give me a second. Sorry for the little technical challenges this morning. Okay, I think this is better. I'm going to get a little mirroring effect. Cool. All right, so let's close this out. Let's go over there. All right, so now you should be able to see this. So this is the LLM cache that Sam built. So it basically took my entire website, and it created this like page called llm.centermedia.ai. I update it pretty regularly. And like I said, I use our partner gumshoe.ai to get the details. So actually, let me show you Gumshoe really quick. I think this will be beneficial. So if you go to gumshoe.com, or rather, excuse me, .ai, no more .coms, I guess we're all AI. You can actually kind of go through and start scanning your own brand. So if you sign in, you can just enter your website. So let's go just with centermedia.ai. There, oops, yep, that's fine. Let's try this one more time. Well, I think that's fine. Hit go. And what's cool about Gumshoe, I think that's a little bit different than other, let's call it SEO, LLM, vendors or tools, is that, it does this really nice, quick, summary of my product. This is correct. But it also like thinks in terms of like focus areas and personas. I think that's probably the best, I would say, area for us to focus on. We'll leave it as English. Let's just go ahead and sign up with my URL, with my Google here. I guess we'll do this again. That was interesting.ai. That's the one. So I guess we'll go through this one more time really quickly. So this is going to basically, like I said, like pull in like who we are. We're cross-platform, advertising as well as growth. So you can get like 4 personas, 5 prompts per persona. If on the paid plan, you can get all the way like hundreds of prompts and 8 personas. So let's just do the free sample report for this case. So what it's going to do is it's going to create those 4 personas that it thinks, like based on analyzing your website, who are the likely like buyers or maybe end users of your product. And then what it's going to do is it's going to come up with like basically sample questions, right? That one of these people might ask, like an LLM, like ask Perplexity, ask ChatGPT, ask Grok, what have you, to get a sense of like if Cinter's brand shows up, right? I'd be curious, like as you all are listening along, excuse me, when you search for on ChatGPT, for example, for like, hey, how do I find like an MCP server that will connect all of my ads. Like what comes up? I'd be really curious. So it says like there's enterprise marketers, e-commerce, agencies, yes, multi-channel, yeah. I mean, I think these are probably right. I'm going to remove the enterprise coordinator and add a different persona. I'm going to call this the AI native growth engineer. I don't know, I'm just making this up. A person who is familiar with AI coding agents like Claude, Cursor, Codex, etc., and is looking for an MCP server to securely, is the key, connect their ad platforms and tracking systems to their accounts and to their AI coding agents and systems, right? That's what we do. We do it really well. So hit save. So now I got that person there. Pretty awesome, right? If I do say so myself. I didn't build this product, not my product, but my friends Stan and Todd and others and Patrick over there at Gumshoe are doing some incredible work. And so basically, like what you can see now, these are the types of prompts. I think prompts is like an industry insider term. I think the better way, these are the questions, right? These are the questions that this person is asking. Like, hey, what's the right, platform for a direct to consumer D2C campaign for Google Ads, Meta, TikTok, right? So these are real questions that it might ask. You can look at all of them. The multi-channel, what's a cross-platform? These are a little bit redundant, if you ask me, but it's okay. You can always edit these or update them, and so on. Which platform offers white label? Yep, I get that question a lot. AI growth engineers are asking like, how can we manage this through the MCP? Yep, that makes sense. So I just do kind of a quick spot check. And so what it's going to do is it's going to go look at DeepSeek, I guess, OpenAI, Perplexity, Google. Okay, that's fine. If I pay and do the full amount, which I do on a different account, I just want to kind of show you this from the start. It'll run a report. And so what it's going to do is it's going to run this report. And it's going to ask those questions of those agents. And quite simply, it's going to, I mean, it's not simple, but it's, but what it replies with is basically how you show up in those particular in those LLMs, right? So that's pretty cool. And so what's going to happen is it's going to create that type of data. I'm going to grab one more, so I can show you kind of it's kind of like the cooking show. Like you can see it cooking over there. And then I'm going to show you kind of what this looks like when it's done. So this is my other like agency account. So I'm going to go in through Neoteric because I have a few different clients. You can see some clients I have here. And so now you can see like my brand visibility supposedly with Center is not super high. But this is this is always relative, right? It's relative to the prompts that I chose. It's relative to the competitors that I consider to be competitive. It has these folks, but these aren't really my competitors, right? I'm not competing with Google really, but I'm competing with some of these folks, like kind of directly, indirectly. So I can kind of come through here and kind of check the boxes of which ones that I'm maybe competing with. So that's kind of interesting. But if we come back here, then you can kind of go and say, okay, let's fix this. My visibility is low. So there's a lot of like basically things that you can do. And it'll tell you like, these are the other personas that I added and how they're showing up for those. Here's like some really nice, looking at the persona as well as by, competitors, how that looks. I'm just being completely open. These are what I see. Perplexity, I feel like I'm doing all right. But you can kind of see like others that are maybe doing better. You can see like where I need to focus my efforts to get more LLM visibility. So that's pretty great. It'll also do like page audits. So if I just go straight to the homepage, it'll give you some, more technical, like, back like SEMrush, like Ahrefs, like need to update some content. The metadata is good, etc. So that part's good. But here's where it gets interesting. So you can go directly into Gumshoe and other LLM, EO providers. There's also Profound. There's also Gauge, like there's a bunch. And it'll give you like instructions on, how to write an FAQ or a blog that you can then basically download and put on your page and either copy it or export it. I think this will export, as Markdown file or even HTML. Then you just drop on your site. If you want to, if you're a bigger company or if you have clients, you can like hand this over to them and then they can implement it on their site, which is super great. And so there's that way of doing it. The other way, if you're on a paid account, is you can go into settings, and I hope I get this right. And if I go in here, I'm just going to see if I can find it. Give me a moment. Center media. Yeah, right here. See where it says API keys? So you can actually create an API key per client. And that way you can then actually pull this same information into your coding agent, right? And so that's kind of where I live. I live in Claude, or I live in AMP, or I live in other agents. So this is still running. So this is still going through all those ones. Because then like I said, you can come down here. So I gave Sam that API key, right, from Gumshoe, just kind of come back to the point. And it basically built this LLM page from that. And then basically this type of, it'll tell you like when it was last updated. Sam's managing all of this for me. And so it basically tells me like, this is my brand visibility. And like I said, it's being powered by Gumshoe, which is pretty cool. So Perplexity, it's kind of going up. There's obviously a lot of work I need to do to get this to be more visible, but this is the work. And so let me just show you also kind of like what that looks like on this side. So like now if I say, okay, I'm going to do it myself because Sam's, not online at the moment, but I'm going to do it this way. So I can say like, okay, just so you can kind of see how it works, pull in the latest, Gumshoe report and optimize the LLM.centermedia.ai cache and pages. Let's see how this works. So this is live. This is going to pull in the Gumshoe API that I just showed you, so you can do this yourself. It's super easy. And so yeah, it's going to pull in the key. I have it stored locally, obviously. And so basically, we'll see if this works. While that's doing that, I'm going to come back over here. So this is what was built. I'm going to jump over and see if anyone has any questions. Just double check I'm not missing anything. So let's see. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, a few people. Okay. Let me see. That's fine. Right. So then if you kind of keep going, you can, let me just check one more thing over here. My other screen. I'm just going to double check. I want to make sure like I'm not, like people can see this. Trying to think how I can show this here. Bear with me 1 second. It says it's uploading. It says there's 2 people on. I hope I'm in the right place. Let me see. I'm just gonna stop sharing just for a second, so bear with me. Oh, weird. It says start logging in. Were you able to join? Let's see if this, if I'm on a different one. Bear with me. Just looking at this. Oh, I'm going to switch over to this session. Okay. Oh. Same session. Okay. Whoopsies. Okay. Let me see something. Cool. All right. That's better. Okay. So I think we're still going strong. This is always the first one is always like technically fun, isn't it? So sorry about that. So yeah, keep bearing with me. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Bear with me. Yeah, okay. Trying to figure out. There we go. All right. It updated itself. It took a minute. Okay. Wasn't sure why that was the case. Okay. So let me share my screen again. Sorry about that, everybody. Just want to make sure I wasn't missing something. Okay. So if we come back here, we can then go to, yeah. So just a remind, so just kind of come back to this. So like the buyer's journey runs through LLMs now, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but one of the first things that I do, like I was buying this microphone, for example, or purchasing, purchasing other things for the family. And I go to like ChatGPT first or Claude or Perplexity before I kind of necessarily go and do a search on Google because of what it is. And so yeah, you need to be able to show up there. Pretty soon your agents are going to actually be doing the buying. I mean, this is already known. I actually had an agent come and purchase Center recently. I mean, a gentleman is using an OpenClaw to run his TikTok ads. Excuse me, and he's using Center MCP to manage that connection, as well as, basically give the OpenClaw all of the tools it needs to run those campaigns. So basically, like I mentioned, we have, the LLM content cache that's running here. That's this thing, which is pretty cool. So like you guys can go and read this. It's llm.centermedia.ai. It's a pretty amazing thing that Sam built. Has a lot of information here. I think the other thing that's interesting, like I said, is that it uses like a robots.txt file to basically block, search engines, like human search engines, from reading some of these pages. So like if you go to, I haven't tried this in a while, but let's see if it works. If you go like this and go MD, I think this will work. Yeah, so it'll have like an MD file for most of these pages. I'm going to see if I can find another one that's more recent. Let's go to our blog here. So best media buying. Let's see. This one's pretty interesting. So go here. And I think if you do /MD, yeah, there you go. See how it's an MD file? Pretty slick, right? So these are the types of little hacks like you can do. I don't call it a hack, but these are the types of things you can do to make your website more machine readable. But yeah, it's pretty slick. And just while we're here, just for those who are not familiar with Center Media, Center Media is a AI agentic platform for running your ads. And so you can come here and basically create like beautiful reports. So for example, I can just like right away, these are my currently live. This is how it looks. This is the agent on the left. This is the document and composer on the right. Think of this as like Google Docs, but like built for AI agents. And think of this as like your kind of Claude or Cursor or whatever agentic view. Along the bottom here, we have all of our connected accounts. At least this is for Center. If you want to add more accounts, you can go into settings, and you can basically see like here's where we have all of these connected. We have all of the major ad platforms, Reddit, Google. I run all of my campaigns out of Center here. We also have other ad platforms that I'm currently in the process of training the agent to use. And so StackAdapt works pretty well. Trade Desk works pretty well. I'm adding Taboola, Outbrain, Quora, Hulu's on the list. And then one other one. Oh, and then Nextdoor somewhere is here as well. Yeah, right there, Nextdoor. So this, I'm getting a lot of requests for Nextdoor from like HVACs and plumbers and people like that. But it's not just ads, and my teammate Emery wanted me to point this out that, yes, we are mostly focused on ads today, yet there's also a big component of attribution. Like I was talking to another client yesterday where I saw a dip in their, a rise in their cost per acquisition and a dip in their actual like signups and conversions. And I said, well, do you guys have, attribution? Do you have any sort of product analytics downstream? He said that they use Segment. And so we can actually connect into Segment to see exactly which channels are actually contributing to actual purchases and subscriptions, right? So you can do that here. You can also connect to HubSpot, Pipedrive, Salesforce. Also, ADIO should be here. I'm not sure why it's not there. Maybe it's up here because I connected to it. Let's see. Oh, interesting. I got to see where ADIO went. That's weird. But I'll bring that back. No worries. So anyways, we also connect to email lifecycle like Klaviyo, Loops, also web pages like Webflow and Linear for like project management. We can also create landing pages, which I think is pretty cool. Like I said, like you can also, if you have Center installed on your site, you can actually discover which pixels are on the site. So you can see these are the pixels on my page. So I have TikTok, all of these ones running. If you want to use Center as an MCP, you literally just copy this into your terminal, and it'll just set this up. You just created a key. So these are some of the keys that I've been testing. If you have Cursor, Windsor, Cloud Desktop, you can just use this script, or you can just basically go in there, create a custom connection with this URL, mcpcentermedia.ai. Use the key, and you're good to go. In fact, let me see if I can. Well, maybe I'll do that in a little bit later. But coming back to the deck, so you saw like we created this LLM cache. And you can kind of see that we have some live visibility scoring. Let's go back and just check on the terminal to see how Claude is doing. So there it goes. It shipped this update. So it caught some, errors on my pricing. I guess that needs to be updated with the LLMs. It did all of that. Said one blocker. Oh, I gotta get a new API key. That's my bad. So let me go and do that now. Over here. And so that's this guy. So yeah, I won't do that now because obviously I can't share my API key with you all. But that is kind of the gist of it. So yeah, if I keep going here, that's kind of how that looks like. And then so these are some of the artifacts that we created. We created an LLMs.txt file, a full TXT file, doing HTML that's both readable as HTML and Markdown. You kind of need a robots.txt file so that it blocks the agents from going maybe to your site and redirects them to the LLM cache. So this is super helpful. So basically, this has been known for a long time. Like everyone talked about this, like back in the early 2000s, that basically the first thing that you're going, your buyers are doing before they ever have one conversation, they're researching you, right? They're going to go and, talk to LLMs. They're going to research your website. They're going to do all of this before they have their first conversation with you. And so, again, if you're not showing up with AI-EO, like if you're not visible to LLMs, then you just frankly don't exist these days. I'm just being blunt. So like I said, meet Sam, Center's OpenClaw. We built this last month. I'm continuing to extend and expand Sam's abilities. One thing like I said, I'm experimenting with is Sam's ability to actually run campaigns autonomously. So if you're interested in that, if you want to be on the beta or even alpha list of Sam, so that Sam could basically do what I just did, which is manage your LLMs or run your paid media, optimizations, reach out to me. I'm right now live streaming on, I think, 4 different platforms. So choose a platform, DM me, email me. I think it's a WhatsApp me on Facebook. I'll open all of that up if you have questions. But that's it. I mean, it's only we only had 30 minutes. I wanted to go through this really quickly. Hopefully this is useful to you. I know I went through this fast. But yeah, if you have any questions, please do hit me up. I'm going to stop sharing my screen somewhere. Right here. Does anyone have any kind of questions that they want to know about? I'll just stay on here for another couple minutes. If not, then I'm going to cut us loose. But yeah, I just want to kind of share kind of a quick update. I'm going to keep building out kind of my content here and kind of keep going with this. But again, if anyone has any questions, please do, let me know. But I really appreciate the people who joined today. Appreciate it. And let me know if you have questions, comments, or concerns. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.